Wonderful Sunday. My goodness, it's fabulous out here. What a day. March 3rd, 332024. We're going to try to do a little bit of continuing with this book, KamalaHarris, Rooted in Justice. I tell you, it's important for us to make mention of strong women, hopefully faith-filled woman that's in your life, a woman that's in your life, whether it's your grandmother, your aunt, your cousin, your niece, your neighbor, your sister. Hopefully they have resilience in them. And if not, they still can get some. All right. It was February. Well, this was back in the 60s, I believe. And Montreal, robed in winter's sparkling white, felt like it had ice in its veins. Kamala couldn't stop shivering. Worse yet, their new neighbors spoke French, a language Kamala's mother insisted her daughters learn. The English name of the French school her mother handpicked for them was Our Lady of the Snows. No, it's not a bad joke. And usually there have been many Februaries and beginnings of March where we have had snow and ice, but whew, no, I had to top down on the way home from church. So yes, 70 degrees, top down meaning convertible, driving. So let's enjoy the rest of this. Kamala wasn't laughing, but that's okay. She's laughing now. She's enjoying herself. She laughs a lot, doesn't she? Now, you know what? I'm not mad at her because she has joy. Montreal was no place for a lotus flower, what her name means. Sighing, Kamala unpacked her new clothes and her old experiences, like marching for change with her mom. One spring day, when the temperature rose enough for outdoor sports like today, Kamala and Maya marched in front of their apartment building, waving picket signs because kids weren't allowed to play soccer on the front lawn on a beautiful day like this. Can you imagine children not being able to play on their front lawn? I mean, it literally feels like 74 degrees out here, maybe 72. It's perfect. And a kid couldn't play? It wasn't fair, said Kamala. And she cared a lot about fairness. The building manager read Kamala and Maya signs and changed the rules. Very good. That reminded me of somebody. Oh, well. Kamala adjusted to life in Canada, but memories of her home country still rang her heart like a bell. After graduating high school, she ached to return to America, where her parents had nursed her on the civil rights movement. She couldn't wait to follow in the footsteps of her heroes, Constance Baker Motley, Charles Hamilton Houston, and Thurgood Marshall. Yes, Marshall had attended Howard University, and Kamala decided she would too. Yes, we see these heroes and heroines, and we're standing on their shoulders. That's the point. Strong pillars. Kamala's time at Howard was focused on the future. She competed on the debate team to sharpen her speaking skills. She interned at the Federal Trade Commission. She did research at the National Archives to study the workings of government. She prepared herself. And on weekends, she joined fellow students of the National Mall in Washington, D.C. to protest apartheid in South Africa. Kamala was preparing to be a woman warrior. Just like you are mighty, bravery is in you, in your bones. You're strong. You're tenacious. Oh my goodness. Like Wonder Woman asked Eve, no better, said her mom. Wonder Woman isn't real. Come on. Nothing matched the magic of her second summer break when Kamala stepped through the doors of the private Senate subway as an intern for Senator Alan Cranston. Kamala could barely hold in the secret of her joy. That's what I'm saying. It's good to have that infectious enthusiasm. She was happy. There's nothing wrong with celebrating when you have great things happening in your life. Well, she couldn't hold it in. The secret of her joy. Kamala could barely hold it in. What could be better than learning from someone whose footsteps echoed in the halls of power every day? After Howard, California called Kamala home to study at Hastings College of the Law, but changing court cases and contracts filled Kamala's mind, but changing lives filled her heart. Elected president of the Black Law Students Association, Kamala invited major law firms to a job fair so that more Black graduates had a fair chance to be hired by the best companies in the country. This work was great practice for Kamala's future. Now hiring. Graduating law school meant there was one more exam to take, the California bar. Without passing it, Kamala could not practice the law. She didn't pass, which taught Kamala something new, failure. That's okay. When we feel like something has said no to us, that's okay. Come what may, you can get up again. It is the toughest teacher, failure, but it can be the best because it makes you dig down deeper and try harder. On the second try, Kamala pass. If at first you don't succeed, said Eve's mom, try again, finished Eve. That's the little girl in the story. Kamala was finally ready to climb the mountains of her dreams. First deputy district attorney, next the first female district attorney of San Francisco, then the first Black woman attorney general of California. Peak by peak she rose, eventually becoming the second Black woman voted into the U.S. Senate. Lawyer, prosecutor, senator. The little girl named Lotus Flower had turned herself into a person others could call on for help. Did she use magic to turn herself into that person? No, sweetie. Kamala just used hard work. This sounds a little like, oh my goodness, Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. Yes, we're thinking about her. How proud. Oh my goodness. And we're praying for Fani Willis, all that she's going through. She worked hard. She was number one. I think she was valedictorian. And yeah, at Howard, and she went on to Emory. So she's smart. She worked hard, but she's going through a test. Remembering her. As Senator, Kamala fought for laws to help workers earn more money, joined the Women's March in Washington for equality and civil rights, and telephoned lawyers to help immigrant children who came to America looking for someplace safe to live. Each time she answered a call for help, Kamala proved that her family's legacy of public service was alive and well in her. What's a legacy, asks Eve. It's like the inheritance you leave behind for your children. Come on, Kamala. Rise. You could do it. Kamala had traveled far, but she hadn't finished climbing the mountain of her dreams. On Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday on the TV show Good Morning America, Kamala told the world, "I'm running for president of the United States." She immediately got goosebumps, wondering if Shirley Chisholm, the first Black woman to run for president, was smiling down from heaven that very moment. Months into the race, Kamala realized that running for president cost more money than she thought, and Kamala's campaign team didn't have enough. She decided to give up her run for the 2020 presidential nomination. Sad to leave the race, Kamala looked forward to all the good work she could still do as Senator Harris. That's okay, said Eve. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Exactly, said her mom. Will Donald and Shamela's daughter ever get to the White House to call it home? You know what? We might not. But whatever we're called to do, let's not give up. Let's not give up. Come what may. Only God knows. Kamala Harris is still writing her American story. And you are too. I just said that. And so are you. I know what happens next, said Eve. What? Asked her mom. Tomorrow I'll tell Calvin that he's wrong and he's a doofus. Eve Temple, I taught you better than that, said her mother. Okay, said Eve, her fingers crossed behind her back. I won't tell him. Meaning that she can do great things, wonderful things. The sky's the limit. The sun, oh my goodness, so much is smiling on us, at us, for us. Let's keep on going. Nikki Grimes, the author, she's a recipient of the 2017 Children's Literature Legacy Award, and so many other. Lee Bennett Hopkins Poetry Award. She received a Prince Honor and Seibert Honor, and the illustrator Laura Freeman has illustrated many fine children's books over the years, including, I just bought this for this book that she illustrated, this other book. I went all the way to Oak Brook, Illinois for one of my good friends' birthdays. She was a past fashion designer, a great artist, and I read Fancy Party Gowns, the story of fashion designer Ann Colo, and I couldn't get it in time, so I was able to track it down. Anyway, Laura Freeman was the illustrator of that beautiful book. Laura lives with her husband and their 2 children in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, like I said, a lot is going on in Georgia. We're remembering all the strong Black women, white women, Indian women, whatever. Just know that you could go far because you're rooted in justice, fairness, and strength. Have a beautiful Sunday.